In the last video, we created the weekly cohort for this, the retention metrics. So we can now switch between monthly cohort and weekly cohort. So we need to create something similar here where we can switch between monthly and weekly cohort. So for starters, we can just group these visuals together. My expectation is that if you follow the last video, you would have done this already. So you're just watching this to see what it would look like on my end. So let me minimize this a bit. Go to format, selection. So I'll call this monthly vis. So these are all the visuals that we have right here. I can now duplicate these visuals, just maintain the order. Then I can rename this to be weekly vis. So we have this right here, which is great. Something else I would like to do, let me see. So let me call this the weekly on, like we had earlier. This is weekly on, then this will be the monthly off. So we need to duplicate these buttons as well. So I'm going to copy this button and paste it. So if I do that, this button is going to become weekly off. I can now copy the formatting of this button and use it here. So it has the same formatting. And then I can copy the monthly button, duplicate it, but this time around I would like to use the weekly on formatting here. Great. This looks nice. So I just have to rearrange it properly so that it works fine. So for starters, let me adjust this a bit. Yeah, this looks good. I believe in the previous page we took out the background, not background, the border. So we can repeat the same here. So we'll format this button, style, and we'd like to turn off the border, and we'll repeat the same for this. That's nice. So we would like to place this above this, and then we'd like to place this. That's fine. So now let's create our bookmarks so that this works properly. We'll just go to view, then we can click on bookmarks. We can take out filters for now. So this time around we're adding new filters. So we weekly off, weekly on. We want to see the monthly vis. So I'm turning off the weekly visuals for now. I'm also, let's see, where are you? So if the weekly visual is off, then weekly on should also be off. Let's see. Weekly on. Okay, you click on this button. Let's see. Okay, weekly on should be in monthly. Let me expand this carefully. I group it. Weekly on should be here. Fine. Then let's see where weekly off should be here. That's correct. So if we're on the monthly cohort, this should be like this. So we can click on this and this should be like this. Then monthly off should be in this group. And oh, we have two monthly off. So one of it's supposed to be monthly on. I believe it should be this. Let's see if I'm right. Okay, I wasn't right about that. So monthly on, I have to rename it. So this has to be monthly on. and this will be monthly off. Fine. I can now take care of these buttons. So to create this bookmark, all I have to do is to add a bookmark, name it to, we can say lost customers monthly. Then I don't want the data. That looks nice. So for the second bookmark, I'm going to unhide this and hide the monthly views, and we'll see that the buttons have changed. So I'm going to add bookmark, and we'll rename this as well to lost customers weekly. That's fine. We don't want to keep the data as well. Then we can minimize this so we can see this better. So what's important now is that we need to be able to switch between these two. So for the weekly cohort, there should be no action for this button because it already tells us that we're here. But for the monthly cohort, there should be an action, bookmark, and then we go to the lost customers monthly. So by the time we click on this, it should switch. Okay, nothing is showing. Let's find out why. Lost customers. You see lost customers weekly, lost customers monthly. That's weird. Let me see. Oh, both these are hidden. So let me monthly. So I have to update this. Update. So if I should click on lost customers weekly, yep, lost customers monthly, yeah, that works fine. Then we need to make sure that this button has no action. Okay, the action is off, but this button should have an action that takes us to the weekly cohorts, lost customers weekly. So we can now click on this. Yep, we have lost customers weekly. Click on this and we have lost customers monthly. But don't forget, we need to change the measures that we're using here because all the measures that we have right here are the monthly measures here. So we just need to update it. So for lost customers, we know for this visual, we need lost customers and resurrected customers. So we just need this by week. So we can go back to our measures. So we have all these weekly measures that we've created. If you want to group it like this, you can also group it like we did previously. Just come to the modeling page, then just select, let's do this first, and then this. We can now give it a folder called weekly cohort. Yeah, so everything is in one folder. That's easy to work with. We can now easily go to that weekly cohort folder and select what we want. So for the visualization, we would like to, for the month and year, we would like week. So we are getting that from, we have the start of week. The hierarchy. Let me see. Yep, start of week. We have that right here. You can remove lost customers and resurrected customers. Then we have lost customers, resurrected customers. We can now rename this. We don't want the weekly to show, except if it's necessary. Because if the users are clicking on weekly, they know they are seeing weekly here. So we don't have to repeat too much information. So that's done. Up next, for new customers, we are also taking out this. Then we can use a start of week here and weekly new customers. That's fine. You notice that I didn't really take out to add colors, right? You can start adding colors, formatting it so that the colors are different. You want to identify lost customers differently, new customers differently. I didn't do that in this visual. Let's see. So here we have new customers, retained customers, and resurrected customers. New, retained, and resurrected. So we can take this out. Start of week. New, retained, and resurrected customers. Where are you? Okay, right here. So we have new, retained, and resurrected customers. And we wouldn't want the filter to stay as start of month. So we want the filter to be date. Yeah. So you can always, if you are looking at the monthly cohort, it's expected that you choose the start of month from the two dates. Then you use the start of week when you're choosing different when you're in the weekly cohort. Yeah. So you make sure that you are seeing the right things. So I later noticed that in this visual I was doing this, I wrote superstore. The data is not superstore. It's for an online store. I don't know why I wrote superstore here. So I'll just leave it as customer cohort report. Then the same thing will apply here. Customer cohort report. That's fine. So for new customers, for example, we can choose to go with a, let me see, let me find a color. Let me see, color. So everything is bluish here. We can find a different color. Yeah, so we can use something like this for new customers. So we come here also, we've identified our new customers. Let me find you. Columns. So weekly new customers. I'll just use the same color. Yep. So we see new customers here. For retained customers. Yep, something a bit. Then resurrected customers. Let me see. You can choose to use a different color. So I'm exploring this to see what turns out well. Okay, this looks okay. You can go with this color for resurrected customers. Then let's see, lost customers. So we have lost customers and resurrected customers here. So I'm just formatting the visuals to make it look good colors. Let's see, resurrected customers. I think that was the last color I used here. Then lost customers. Yeah, lost customers. This is fine. Make sure you save your work. So yep, we switch to this page. We can use these colors easily now. So we've been able to differentiate this. So the colors would align with what the values represent. Sometimes if you have too many values, you can't afford to do this because it's going to make your visual look very messy. So this is cool, really cool. One more thing, let's go over to trends. So for trends is we have the option to choose between churn rate and retention rate. I believe we edited this, or should I say edited, modified this in the previous page. Let me see. Yep, we've done that. Let me see if I can copy the formatting for this. Format. go to trends. Can I use it here? No, I can't. But the idea is the same thing. So let me see the color for this. Style, the fill. Yep. So I can come here and format this. Go to values. Go to the background, and I'll use the color I just copied. Just confirm one more time. Yep, and this is fine. Font color I can choose to make it white if I want it to be a lot brighter. So the values should look brighter. So that's fine. So what we have here is for the monthly cohort. We'd want to have something for the weekly cohort. If we're going to have the both of them here, then it means we're taking out the start of month and just using the date. So I'm adjusting this a bit. Nope, not that way. And also choose to copy the buttons from the previous page actually if I want to. Yeah, so I'm taking away the background for this. Is it background or border? Taking away the border, and that's fine. So for this particular page, we're going to be repeating the same ideas over and over again. So we can just bookmark 1, 2. For starters, let's bookmark this. Is it bookmark or group this? Let's group it. Grouping is the right word. So we've grouped this, and let's check selection. So we'll call this monthly trends. So this is the monthly trends. We can then copy it and paste this. Okay, it's not pasting, that's weird. Copy, paste. Okay, that's fine. So we can just adjust this to make sure it aligns, and we can now name this as the weekly trend. Looks fine. For the cohort trend, it means that we also need a weekly cohort trend, because what we have right here is for the monthly year. So you have the measure churn rate and retention rate. So we need the same thing for the weekly. To do this, we go to insert. No, instead of insert, we go to modeling, then new fields. From here, we go to the measures, the weekly, then we have the weekly churn rate and the weekly retention rate. We can now rename this to weekly cohort trends. We don't want to add a slicer, so we uncheck this and then click on create. So we now have the new table we just created right here, new parameter. So we can hide the monthly trends just to be safe. And now we know we are working with the weekly trends. So we can replace this. We can replace the cohort trends with the weekly trends. Yep. And then we can also replace this. So we have months since first transaction. So instead we're going to be having weeks since first transaction. Go to fact sales, weeks since first transaction. Then we add the weekly cohort trends we just created, the parameter, and we see what the value looks like. So users can adjust this and they see what the churn rate looks like. We don't want to see the alternative, the switch to the retention rate and they see what the retention rate looks like. I'm not sure if this is really necessary, but sometimes people request for this and you have to create it. So nothing serious actually. If you have issues where you notice that your visual doesn't start from 0, there are instances you experience something like that, all you have to do is to make sure you come to the y-axis and check. So you can just change the y-axis where you say that the minimum is 0, you can insert that value right here. But if you don't have that issues, you don't need to worry about that. So I'm taking away the superstore as well. That was a mistake. So we have the basics of what we need here. What we need to do differently now is to add the bookmarks like we have for the other pages. So for the buttons, just to be safe, I'm going to rename this to weekly on. And this right here should be, is that weekly? Let me see. Oh, this should be weekly. Let's see. Oh, okay, you click on this to turn on the weekly, that's correct. The monthly is already on, so we'll just say monthly off. That's fine. So I would like to duplicate this, but I want to use this formatting. So this is why planning your visuals ahead is very helpful. If you have your visuals planned ahead, you wouldn't have to be creating this things over and over. If you've created it on one page, you can just duplicate that page multiple times and you're fine. So this looks good. I can now duplicate the monthly cohort. Then copy this formatting and use it to format this right here. I can now make sure that this is seated properly right here, and this is seated properly right here. Adjust it a bit. Let's show this a bit. Yeah, that's fine. So we have that figured out. What we need to do next is just to create the bookmarks here where people can switch between the monthly and the weekly. So let's arrange this a bit. So we are looking at the weekly cohorts for now. So the monthly is hidden. So the weekly should show and this should be hidden. So let's take it carefully. So let's see, let me see, weekly on. So weekly on should stay in the monthly and be hidden. Yep. Then the new one. So this should be weekly off. So weekly, let me see. This should sit right here. So you have monthly off here, so this should be monthly on. And my expectation is monthly on should be here. And monthly off should be here. And that's correct. Nice. So if we have this figured out, let me expand this too because we need it. We have this figured out. We need to start creating our bookmarks. Yeah. So if this is like this, it means that we're on the weekly here. So we would want to create a new bookmark. We'll call this weekly trends. Check the option to add data. Then up next, we would like to create another bookmark. For that bookmark, we would want to turn off the weekly visuals and turn on the monthly. Yep, we can now create this bookmark and call this monthly trends. Monthly trends. And we can check the option for the data. And now when we click on weekly trends, the visuals should switch. Okay, we need to update this. Monthly trends, update the week, update. Yep. Let's go to monthly now and see. Monthly, weekly. Okay, just think I've made a silly mistake somewhere. Monthly is working fine, but weekly is not. So we hide this, turn on weekly, and update the weekly. That's fine. You can now click on monthly trends. Fine. Click on weekly trends. Awesome. So this is working fine. So what we also look at the header. This is monthly. Let me see weeks. Okay, yeah, the header is fine. So we can now add some actions to our button. So if we're on the weekly cohort, there should be no action here, yeah. But if we are on the monthly cohort, we would like this button to work. We would like to turn on the option to navigate to the monthly cohorts, monthly trends. Yep. So if this is working fine, you can just click on this. We're now in the monthly trends. So this button, the monthly button should no longer have any action, but the weekly button should have an action. And let's see. The action should be weekly trends. Yeah, right here. So we can switch between weekly and monthly. So that's nice. And we also have the option to always click on back to go back to the previous page. Then something else you would want to do is to just add the formatting here. I didn't do that in the previous video because I expect that you should figure it out, where you can just add your conditional formatting. Let's see, background right here. Then you would want to turn off don't format and click on OK. Then let's see what next. Okay, churn rate, the same thing. Don't format. And let's see, joined customers, background. I really wish there's a faster way to do this though, where you don't have to do this manually. Maybe you'll be required to write some DAX measure. I'm not sure. I've not figured it out. Because imagine you have like 7, 8, 9, 10 measures and you need to do this. It's going to be a lot of work. And I hate when a task is repetitive and you have to do it manually over and over. It's annoying. And I think it's not productive. So this is for the weekly cohort. Let me switch to the monthly cohort. And I really hope that everything is fine here. So we need to format this, the background. The good thing about this is if you follow this from start to finish, you have a good project to add to your portfolio. Or in case many people will be following this project at the same time, you can also choose to get another data set that you would like to use, but the concept is still the same here. Just get a different data set and do what you need to do. Just repeat what you've done, and you can now add this as a portfolio project. Yeah, add it to your CV. Just add a link. So you have this power. You add like 2 more projects to this. Now you have a good portfolio that you can present during your interviews. Then, if there's anything I would like to do different here, is this right here. Because sometimes when you're interacting with visuals, people make mistakes and they click on this, then they realize that all the navigation options that you have here is hidden. So there are many ways to go about it. You can choose to look at the option to maintain layer order. If you go to properties and you go to, I think it's position, okay, not position, advanced option, you see maintain layer order. That way this doesn't come to the front when people mistakenly click on it. But it doesn't happen here actually, it happens, and you have to do that for all this right here. So what I tend to do is to use PowerPoint and create a background. So I wouldn't want to stretch this video too much. This is the end of the series. This is the last video on customer cohort and retention analysis. I believe you've learned like 1 or 2 things from this video. If you've learned, I'll recommend you share the videos with your friends, and they can also work on the projects to improve their portfolio, or you can use it to solve a problem where you presently work. You can also add other things. If there's anything you think I'm missing, you can add it to your own and improve the experience for the people that will be using this report. You can choose to work on the backgrounds here and do something different. And very important, this background here, I recommend you create a custom background. So maybe in the future video, I'm going to create a video on how to create a background in PowerPoint. Some persons use Figma and so like PowerPoint is easy to use, and you can just create this simple layout and import it here into Power BI, and you won't have these issues where I'm having this right now. So with this, you can now publish your report. You save and publish your report. You can now copy the link, add it to your portfolio. You see, I created some simple stuff, so I'm just going to add this on that project and publish it. So after publishing your report, you can now open it in Power BI service, that's Power BI Online. You can get the link, share the link with people. They can see what you've done. You can share this on LinkedIn, share it on Twitter, or add it to your portfolio project. So thank you for following along. I believe you've learned one thing or other from this tutorial. So next week, I'm going to be starting a new video. I'm still brainstorming the idea on what I should do. If there's a video you would like me to do, you can also drop it in the comment section and I'll look at it. So thank you for following. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video. Thank you.